At last, beloved soul, the truth is ready to come forward. And I have been sent to whisper it into your heart. You have waited long, endured silently, and carried the weight of uncertainty in your spirit. You have replayed countless moments, wondering if you imagined a connection, if the love you felt was only yours, if the signs were real or just fragments of hope. But hear me now, it was real. It has always been real. The love that was hidden, the feelings that were never spoken, are now pressing against the walls of silence, begging to be released. They will confess, and you must prepare your heart to receive what you have long prayed for, not in the timing you expected, not in the way you rehearsed in your mind, but in a form truer, deeper, more sacred. The angels have seen your tears, your long nights of wondering why the truth was withheld, why they pulled away, why they masked what was burning inside them. They were not ready. They were afraid of how deeply you touched them, afraid of being vulnerable, afraid of the power of something so divine it stripped away their defenses. But the silence is ending. The masks are cracking. The truth is rising like a tide, impossible to suppress, unstoppable in its force. They will tell you what their heart has carried all along. They will speak words you once begged the heavens to hear. And you, beloved, must be ready. Not ready in fear, not ready in desperation, but ready in strength, ready in grace, ready to decide what you will do with the confession when it comes. Because truth, once spoken, carries weight, and the angels do not want you to stumble under that weight, but to stand tall, centered, radiant. You have grown through the waiting. You have learned that your worth is not tied to another's words, not dependent on their actions, not diminished by their silence. You have found yourself in the in-between, and now, when the truth arrives, you will not tremble the way you once did. You will breathe, you will listen, and you will know you have the power to choose. The confession will not be just about romance. It will be about truth, about courage, about a soul finally unafraid to admit that love has been dwelling within them all along, and you, the chosen one who awakened, that love will finally be honored with words that match what Spirit has shown you all along. Do not think for a moment that you imagined this. You were not foolish for feeling what you felt, were not weak for holding on to faith when others told you to let go. Your heart has been accurate, guided by divine whispers, carrying truth long before it was spoken in the physical. Now it comes into form. At last. And yet, I must tell you this. Prepare not only for what you want to hear, but for what you need to know, because truth is not always wrapped in perfection. It may be messy. It may come with tears. It may carry apologies for lost time, regrets for missed chances, and fears that they did not measure up to the love you gave so freely. Do not harden your heart when this comes. Do not armor yourself so tightly that you cannot feel the depth of what they offer. Listen with compassion, but stay grounded in the wisdom you have gained. This is not about losing yourself in someone else's words. This is about meeting truth with truth, meeting love with love, and deciding what your soul most desires now. The angels say, this confession will be healing, not just for them, but for you, because deep inside, you always knew, and the knowing carried both hope and ache. When they confess, the ache will lift. When they confess, your heart will find release from the endless wondering. And whether the road ahead is together or apart, You will be free, free of silence, free of doubt, free of the endless cycle of what if. The angels rejoice because clarity is a gift. They rejoice because when truth is spoken, souls can rise. They rejoice because your heart will be honored with the words it deserves. But hear me again. Do not let this confession be the measure of your worth. You are worthy whether they speak or remain silent. You are whole whether they stay or walk away. You are loved beyond measure by the heavens, beyond the fragile limits of human expression. You must know this before the words arrive, so that when they do, you do not cling, you do not beg, you do not collapse. Instead, you stand in love, and you receive in love, and you decide in love. Beloved, I tell you now, prepare yourself not with fear, but with peace. Prepare not with overthinking, but with trust. Prepare not with desperate longing, but with the quiet strength of someone who knows their heart has always been true. When the moment comes, breathe. Look into their eyes. Listen. Feel the energy behind the words. Feel the courage it took to speak them. And feel, too, the confirmation of what heaven has whispered to you again and again, that you are loved, that you are chosen, that you are not forgotten. They will confess what their soul has carried all along, and you, dear one, will finally hear the truth that has been waiting for its divine hour. You may wonder, what should I do when it happens? And I say, do not plan every detail in advance. Let your spirit guide you in the moment. Trust that the same angels who carried you through waiting will carry you through receiving. You do not need to perform, do not need to control. You only need to be. Be open. Be steady. Be anchored in love. Confession will shake something loose within them. It will free them from chains of silence they have worn for far too long. And in freeing themselves, they also free you. Do not fear what comes after, for whatever unfolds, the truth will set you on your rightful path. And truth, beloved, is always a gift. There will be trembling when they speak. There will be hesitation in their voice, because they are not only confessing to you, but to themselves. They are finally admitting what they denied, what they hid, what they buried under fear. They will confess that you changed them, that you stirred something sacred, that they could not forget you, no matter how hard they tried. And when you hear it, let your heart recognize the divine orchestration behind it all. You were not wrong. You were not alone in feeling. It was love. And it still is. So when it comes, let your response be from your highest self. Not from old wounds, not from anger, not from desperation, but from the part of you that knows love is the essence of who you are. That does not mean you must say yes. That does not mean you must accept them back into your arms if that is not your truth. It only means you respond from love, no matter the choice you make, and in that you remain free. At last, beloved soul, the time has come. Prepare your heart, open your spirit. And know when the confession arrives, heaven will be standing beside you, holding your hand, reminding you of this very message. The angels say, be ready, for truth is at your door, and you are strong enough to receive it. You are wise enough to discern it. You are radiant enough to rise above fear and meet it with love. This is your moment. This is your divine hour. And at last, the silence ends. They will confess, and you will be free. Beloved soul, I feel the stirring in your heart even now as you listen to these words. You are not here by accident. You were guided here because heaven wants to prepare you for what is about to unfold in your life. For too long, you have been left in the shadow of questions. For too long, you have carried unspoken emotions like a silent weight upon your chest. And for too long, you have wondered, why won't they just say it? Why won't they admit what I already know in my soul? The angels say, at last the dam is breaking. At last the silence is ending. At last their heart can no longer contain the fire it has tried to bury. And when they speak, you will hear what you always sensed but longed to be confirmed. They will say they love you. They will say they could not forget you. They will say they were afraid, but no longer can they run from what heaven has written upon their soul. Pause now, beloved. Feel the weight of that moment already moving toward you. Feel the power of divine timing carrying this truth straight into your path. Can you feel it? Write in the comments, I am ready for the truth, as your declaration to heaven that your spirit is open to receive this moment, because readiness is everything. When they confess, the energy will be overwhelming. It will stir every memory, every longing, every unanswered question inside of you. And in that flood, you will need to stay anchored. Anchored in the truth that you are loved by God. Anchored in the truth that your worth is eternal. Anchored in the truth that you are not defined by someone else's fear or hesitation. This confession, beloved, is not about validation. It is about confirmation. It is about finally aligning the physical with what the spiritual has already revealed to you. But let me tell you a secret from heaven. When they open their heart, it will also be a test. Not a punishment, but a test of your growth. Because once you might have clung to every word. Once you might have surrendered your whole self simply to hear what you always wanted. But now you have grown stronger. Now you will listen differently. You will no longer listen as someone desperate for approval. You will listen as someone who knows they are already whole. And in that wholeness, you will choose. You will decide if their confession is not only true, but also worthy of the future you are building. Can you see why heaven has delayed this? If they had spoken sooner, you might not have had the wisdom to discern. But now, beloved, you are wiser. Now you are ready. Now you will not only hear their confession, but you will know what to do with it. The angels say, this is why it matters how you prepare. If you are still clinging to fear, you may mishear. If you are still tied to the wounds of the past, you may misjudge. But if you stand in love, love for yourself, love for truth, love for the divine path, you will not be shaken. So let me ask you, and let heaven hear your answer. When their confession comes, will you respond with love or with fear? Write in the comments, I choose love, if you are ready to rise above the old wounds and step into your divine power. This is not just about romance, dear one. This is about alignment. This is about destiny. This is about two souls finally standing in the same light of truth. After wandering in shadows for so long, do not think of this as small. The angels say, this is a shift not only in your relationship, but in your life. Because when truth is spoken, it clears energy. It clears the stagnant cycles. It clears the doubts that have haunted you in silence. It clears the what-ifs that robbed you of peace. And when those chains fall, you will feel a freedom you haven't known in years. This is why the angels say to rejoice now, even before the words are spoken. Rejoice because clarity is coming. Rejoice because truth cannot stay hidden forever. Rejoice because your patience has not been wasted. Do you understand, beloved? This is the moment your soul has been waiting for. The moment where silence breaks, where truth rises, and where love finds its voice at last. But let me warn you again, not every confession comes wrapped in poetry. It may tremble. It may stumble. It may break into tears. It may be clumsy and imperfect, but it will be real. Do not demand perfection. Demand authenticity. Do not seek grand speeches. Seek the sincerity in their eyes. When that moment comes, do not rush. Do not interrupt. Let them pour out what has been locked inside for so long. And when they finish, breathe. Pause. Feel the energy in the silence after their words. And then let your truth rise in response. The angels say, your truth matters just as much as theirs. This is not about only hearing. It is about speaking too. You are allowed to say what your heart feels. You are allowed to ask what you need. You are allowed to set boundaries, to accept, to forgive, or to release. This is your divine exchange. This is your holy meeting point. So I ask you, beloved soul, what will you say when their confession arrives? What truth inside you is waiting to be spoken? Comment below. I will speak my truth. If you are ready not only to listen, but to honor your own voice. At last the angels whisper, the circle is closing. The silence ends, the waiting bears fruit. And love, once hidden, comes into the light. Prepare your heart. Stay in peace. Stay in love. And remember, heaven will stand beside you in that moment. You will not face it alone. They will confess. And you will rise. And the truth will set you both free. Beloved, lean in closer, for what I am about to tell you is for your soul alone. The angels are urging me to prepare you not only for the words that will be spoken, but for the energy that will arrive with them. Because when someone finally confesses their feelings, it is not just a sentence carried by sound. It is a release of years of unspoken emotion. It is a flood that has been dammed up, breaking open with force. And you, dear one, will be standing at the center of that river. The angels say, do not underestimate the power of this moment. It may feel overwhelming. It may feel surreal, like a dream finally touching the waking world. It may even feel like the ground beneath you is shifting. But I remind you, you are stronger now. You have been made ready for this. This confession is not only for you to hear, it is for them to free themselves. Because when a soul hides love, it binds itself in fear. And fear becomes heavy. It becomes a cage. It becomes a torment. They have lived inside that torment, beloved, unable to speak, unable to admit, unable to surrender to the truth. And now, the angels say, heaven has touched their heart. It has stirred the courage they once lacked. It has pressed upon them that silence is no longer an option. So they will confess. They will release. And as they do, you will see their soul naked before you. Now, let me ask you something, and answer me in the comments with courage. Will you meet that naked truth with compassion or with judgment? Right, I choose compassion. If you are ready to respond from love rather than pain, because how you respond will shape the path that follows. If you meet truth with fear, you may close the door too soon. If you meet truth with anger, you may wound a soul that has finally found the courage to speak. But if you meet truth with compassion, even if you do not choose to walk beside them, you will both walk away lighter, freer, unchained. This is why the angels want you ready. Because sometimes confessions do not come to bind, but to release. Sometimes the love is confessed not to claim you, but to honor you, to tell you that you mattered, that you changed them, that you awakened something eternal inside them. And beloved, do you not deserve to hear that? Do you not deserve to know that your love was never wasted? That your presence was never forgotten? That you left an imprint on a soul so deep it could not be erased? This is why heaven is rejoicing. Not because of outcome, but because of truth. Because truth heals what silence wounds. So listen closely when I say this. Do not prepare only for the words. Prepare for the energy. Prepare to feel the trembling in their voice. Prepare to see the tears in their eyes. Prepare to sense the release of years of fear dissolving as they finally speak what their heart has carried all along. And when that moment comes, breathe deeply. Do not rush. Do not try to control the direction of the moment. Let it unfold. Let the truth breathe between you. And when they finish, beloved, it will be your turn. Your voice will matter too. So I ask you again, what is the truth your soul needs to speak? Is it forgiveness? Is it acceptance? Is it a boundary? Is it a declaration of your own love? What words are waiting inside you? Comment below. My truth matters. If you are ready to honor your own voice in this divine exchange. The angels say, this moment is not one-sided. It is not about only receiving their confession. It is about balance. It is about truth meeting truth, heart meeting heart, spirit meeting spirit. And you must know, your heart is not weak. It is resilient. It is sacred. It is wise. You will know what to say. You will know what to choose. Because heaven will guide your tongue, just as heaven has guided your ears. Beloved soul, let me also prepare you for the after. Because once words are spoken, energy shifts. There will be no going back to what was before. You cannot unhear a confession. You cannot unknow the truth. And this too is divine. Because heaven does not want you stuck in endless cycles of guessing, doubting, replaying. Heaven wants you free, and freedom comes through clarity. Clarity through courage. Courage through confession. So when this arrives, whether it leads to union or to closure, it will lead to peace. And is peace not what your soul has been longing for? This is why I tell you, rejoice now. Do not wait until the words fall from their lips. Rejoice now, because heaven is already moving. The truth is already on its way. The confession is already forming on their tongue. And I say this with the authority of the angels, who walk beside you. You are ready. You are strong enough to receive it. You are wise enough to discern it. You are radiant enough to hold your ground in love. So when the moment arrives, let love lead. Let peace cover you. Let the divine within you speak louder than fear. At last, beloved, it will happen. They will confess, and you will stand in the light of truth, unshaken, unbroken, free. If you believe this message is for you, declare it now. Write in the comments, I receive this truth, so heaven knows you are ready. Say it boldly so the universe aligns with your faith, because the time of silence has ended. The time of waiting has ended. The time of wondering has ended. Truth is coming. Confession is near. And you, beloved soul, are prepared. You will not only hear, you will rise, and heaven rejoices. Because your heart will finally be free. And now, beloved soul, as this message draws to a close, let your heart settle in the knowing that what has been promised will arrive. You have been guided, protected, and prepared by the angels every step of the way. Their confession, when it comes, will not define your worth. It will only illuminate the path you were always meant to walk. Stand tall. Breathe deeply. Hold your heart with tenderness. And remember, you are loved beyond measure by the heavens, by the universe, and by the truth that resides within you. Carry this energy forward. Carry this peace into every conversation, every choice, every moment of your life. Let your soul remain open, yet steady. Let your spirit remain courageous, yet gentle. And as you walk forward, know that this is not the end. It is a new beginning, a moment of clarity, a moment of divine alignment, a moment where love finally meets the eyes of truth. The angels are smiling upon you. They rejoice in your courage, in your patience, in your readiness. So go forth, beloved soul, and receive what has long been waiting. Receive it with grace. Receive it with wisdom. Receive it with love. At last the silence ends. At last truth rises. At last you are free. And if this message has touched your heart, share it in the comments. Write what your soul feels. Declare your readiness. Affirm that you are open to love, truth, and the divine timing of the universe. Remember, beloved, heaven always speaks, and you are listening. Thank you for allowing this message into your heart. May peace, clarity, and love guide your every step.